Hello,
Hello,
how are you doing?
I'm fine, thanks.
Welcome to your IELTS speaking test. My name is Teacher Lopez. Can you please introduce yourself?
Well, my name is David. I'm 16 years old and come from Vietnam. Uh, I live in Hanoi. My family is, I have four people in my family. Me, my sister, my mom, and my dad. And my favorite color is white and black. Okay,
All right, David, let's talk about being patient.
okay.
IELTS part one, right? What do you do while you're waiting for something? For example, a taxi, a bus, or a train.
I usually go by the metro, and I, when I waiting for the train, I will use my phone or go around the stations for looking for some views or waiting for the train.
And have you ever lost your patience while waiting for something? Why or why not?
I have lost my patience a lot when waiting for like waiting for a car or a bus on my train. And sometimes I feel very mad for waiting for them and I don't feel upset when waiting for them.
Okay, and are you generally a patient person?
I don't I don't I never be I don't like I'm not a patience person because I usually lost my patience while waiting for some things.
All right, and are people in your country generally patient? Why or why not?
People in my countries sometimes they are patient or sometimes they are not, but usually they are friendly and they are very patient for waiting for something.
Okay, all right, and let's move to part two of your speaking test. Here is a piece of paper and a pen. In this part, you have to speak for 1 to 2 minutes, and you have 1 minute to take down notes. And here is your speaking cards. You can take a look at it and take down notes, and afterwards, I'll tell you to start. So your time starts now. Okay, now you can start speaking.
Okay. Uh, my old my old object is a piano. It come from Japan. When my mom and my dad go through there, they bought it from my sister in 1981. It my family is interested in that piano because it had become our family traditional. So when any any families member have their birthday, our grandparents will play it for them, and they will teach to um, they will they will taught for their next generations how to play the piano, and that is my interesting project in my family.
Okay, and let's move to part three of your test. Here we are going to have a conversation still on the topic. We have this. Now, talking about history and the value of the past, why do you think people like things that remind them of the past?
Because the memory of that things will make them happy or the sad one, but it will always be the best memory of the people when they in the past they have.
Okay, and should all historical buildings be kept? Why or why not?
Mm, can you say the question
Should
again?
all historical buildings be kept? Historical building, old buildings of the past. Do you think that they should be kept? Why or why not?
It should be kept because um, the his, it have go through many times and become the history of everyone, and is very important for people to know what it is.
Right? And would you say objects made in the past are better than modern ones?
Mm, in my opinion, the object in the past are,
Would you say the objects made in the past are better than those that are made in the present?
in my opinion, the object in the past are not better than the modern nowadays because they are old and not convenient for all people. Or like the new gens cannot understand how it works or how it used to do.
Okay, let's talk about museums, still about history, all right? What type of museums do you have in your country?
There is Vietnamese War Museum, a 3D museum, and art museum.
And have you been to a museum before? And how was your experience like?
I have been to Vietnamese War Museum, and this was very satisfying because I know how the Vietnamese war, three biggest war happens when they fight back French, Americans, and China's, and that is my best experience I have ever had in my life.
Right? And do you think museums are the best way of teaching people about history?
Yes, because the museum can show how the history of something began and how it's and nowadays the educations can let children go to the museum to study for history.
All right. And the last question is, how do you think museums could attract people in the future?
Mm, they should use translate for the foreigners, or they can represent things them in on like social medias or internet for the new generations to let them know about what the museum is.
And finally, in your own opinion, would you support schools to teach historical facts or historical experiences in the curriculum?
I would support them because the history of the past are very important so that children or students can know how they were born and how they became human for nowadays.
All right, that's the end of your speaking test. Congratulations.